Well, Marmoteers, I've done it. I've embraced it. I've got the big bushy beard, and now I'm holding a selfie stick. I'm a millennial. 1 star. Okay, Marmoteers, flying Marmoteer. Can't fly, and I'm not a marmot, but I can go over what happened with the creature. So, as those of you who were not at con may not have seen, well, I mean, if you're a fan of the channel, you have. We've got a tail. We've got a heartbeat at various speeds. And we have a very noisy breathing apparatus. So, we're going to go over what worked, what didn't, and what I'm thinking about for next year. And if you Marmoteers have any suggestions, please, by all means, anything you think of. So, first, personal favorites. Okay, other than the noise, of course. I really like how smoothly the tail works. The main breathing apparatus is ultimately a series of scissor lifts that are translating the motion up and down, all of which is being driven by a Scotch yoke. I'll try to have a cutaway around here so I can show you that. So the Scotch yoke turns that rotational motion that I get from the motor into the linear motion that I'm actually interested in. The problem with that is that while we do get an interesting, albeit very exaggerated breathing motion, after you watch a few cycles you start to see that it is very inorganic looking. So may want to think about a total redesign of that for next year, although I don't know what I would do to give it a sloppier, more organic look like the tail has. So we'll have to keep our minds open, Marmoteers. Things I really like. I like the little algorithm I put together for the heartbeat. So, see, we can bring it up fast. Now at the very slowest and the very fast, it might not quite look heartbeaty enough, but most of the middle range I think looks pretty good. So, thoughts for next year. Since we now know nothing with wheels is allowed at con, so I had to take this off the stroller and just walk around with it in my hands. Hence not having time to record any video for you while I was at con. Sorry, Marmoteers. That means that we need to come up with a better solution for this than just let it keep getting bigger and add it to a cart. Clearly, won't work. So, thoughts. Thought 1. Get this on a box mounted in front of me. Nice thing about that is I might just be able to add a puppet aspect to it. So we could have this sitting in front of me, and I could slip my hand into the box, move my hand around to move these limbs around. Now, with the right assembly of rods and pulleys, I think we could do some really interesting things with that. And because it would be running off of my hand, that gets rid of the inorganic looking motion problem that we have from the simple mechanism at the center. Problem, that'll be a little heavy, and having your hand, well, your whole forearm in an enclosed space is really warm, so maybe not. Thought 2, modify this into more of a full costume. So get these 5 limbs here, have them holding a hood, get this breathing mechanism, build it into a shirt, so that instead of the driving force being the up and down, we could actually drive it with the ribs attached in here, so I could breathe in and breathe out and have those ribs moving up and down on a piece at the front and back with its scissor lifts internal that push it off of me, which could give a very dramatic looking effect. Heavy, warm, so I don't know about that. But I mean, hey, I could throw in a tabard that's got patterns like we've got on the top here, or, I mean, what I should really do, sit down, come up with some good BSE numerology to go with the whole thing, and maybe build my own whole set of symbols instead of what I've done here, which is, well, in the case of these, it's just grab old alchemical and or astrological symbols. Whereas up here is more where I was making things up as I went along, and I kind of like the aesthetic that this starts to generate, so I might lean more in that direction going forward. Other potential thought instead of working on these really big mechanisms, take this overall creature shape and try to make about a half a dozen little things. So I don't know if you are big fans of automata. I'll try to do a little inset video here of a couple things. But things like Sisyphus pushing the boulder, the push-up man, the rowboat, or even the dancing lumberjack puppet. And try to build simple variants of that using this five-legged critter with the tail, and just have a little menagerie that I could have sort of lining a cloak. So those are really the big three ways I'm thinking I might go with it. Let me know what you think in the comments, Marmoteers. And yeah, overall, I mean, a lot of people said that it was the best thing they'd seen at con, which I'm sure after they saw other people with actual good costumes, they may have thought better of. But it was just spooky enough and just organic enough, and apparently just spazzy enough, that it made quite an impression while I was there. So all in all, I'm going to call it a success. Hey Marmoteers, this is Baby. He lives here now, so, warm 5-star welcome.